All right, so we are on to part 4 now. So we've already made our score line here on the display. And the purpose for that is that after we loosen the glue off of that polarized filter and peel it up, there's a nice clean line which that filter will break on. So that way we keep the top polarized filter on while easily removing the bottom polarized filter. And you can see our line there is going to correspond with this line here on the masking, so that way when we put that on, it'll hide that cut in the glass. Okay. All right, so to do this, because we're using fluids like Goof Off, what you want to do is really take apart the watch even further. Some people go ahead and just, remove the polarized filter from here without disassembling it. I like to keep parts dry, and also it's just a little bit fun for you to get to know your watch and what's underneath. So the first step you want to do is go to these pins which are on the watch. You have 2 here, 1 here, 2 here, 1 here. And you go to the top portion where the display is, and you just lightly pull it apart like that. Okay? And then you go to the next 2 here. All right, and that should be everything. And you can notice the times start to go away because you're separating the contacts for the battery from the main watch. Okay, and this is what you're left with here. This part houses the battery, and you can set this part to the side. Be careful because inside that part, right next to, you see this button, this hole here that says AC? Right next to it is usually a spring, and this is the spring here that has fallen out. So be mindful of that and set that aside. And then we can take our main board here and just find a place to put your toothpick. So I like to go into these corners here and just gently wedge the toothpick in, and then go to another corner on the opposite side and do the same thing. Just be gentle with it. Okay, and it should come off nice and easy. And if you ever get lost here, I do have a separate video on disassembly and reassembly. Okay, when you take this off here, this part will come off like this, and you'll see this black square here. This black square should go in the center of these 4 rubber contacts here. So when we reinstall it, it should be like this. Okay, so let's set these parts to the side for now. Okay, let's go ahead into here. You can go into the corner and just lift up on this. I'm not sure exactly what this is called, but we'll set that to the side. And then you have a couple of rubber spacers, it looks like, in here. So you can take those off. Sometimes you can grab your toothpick and push from the opposite side to get those off. Okay, there's one. And there's 2. Okay, a little bit tough to get off. And we can set these parts to the side as well. Okay, now to get the main display off, you'll see here that on one side you have a a big spring, plastic looking spring, and then on the other side, for this watch at least, you have the 3 dots of the main display. So I'm right-handed, so I push this over, and then you're going to be pushing with your index finger on this portion of the display from the bottom. So essentially we're going to be prying the display up in this direction, like this. So to do that, you're just going to pull back on this main spring here and lift up with your index finger like that. Okay, and we'll set that part to the side. And now this is what we're going to be working on. So I'll just put that here for now. And now let's take a look at what you've taken apart. So I'm going to pan the camera over here. And these are basically, with the exception of the AE 1200 parts, this right here is mostly everything that we've taken out from the 1300. Okay, so in the next video, what we're going to be doing is showing you how to spray this down with Goof Off and how to separate that bottom polarized filter.